3 months ago, I went on a business trip. On the first night out, I went out for drinks with some of my coworkers. While out, a man started flirting with me, and I liked the attention. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, I Cheated on My Husband 3 months ago. I Need Advice on How to Make Things Right. And guys, this story is about a woman. She's been married to her husband, sounds like a number of years now. And from what she describes, they have the great marriage. He's wonderful to her. He's always complimenting her, the ideal husband. And the dude is good looking. He really takes care of himself, hits the gym all the time, that type of thing. So she really doesn't have a whole lot to complain about. But you're going to see, one day she goes on a business trip, and while she's out one evening after obviously meetings and all that, she's with her coworkers, and she's drinking. And lo and behold, a guy comes along and starts flirting with her. And you're going to see, she openly admits she enjoys the attention. One thing leads to another, and lo and behold, she's rolling in the hay with this strange guy. She goes home and tells her husband, and you're going to see he doesn't take it very well. And this guy really just falls down a deep hole. And now she's completely destroyed this guy, and she doesn't know what to do. And I'm doing this, guys, as an example, number one, to show you just how bad what happens to guys when they truly love and trust their wives and they're cheated on, and it can destroy some of them, and the damage can be done. So these women, they actually claim they care. Here's an example of what can happen to your guy if you slip up. And at the end of the day, it's not really slipping up. She made a choice to do that. But also I'm doing this to show, yes, a guy can fall down a deep, dark hole, but the guy cannot allow anybody to let this keep him that way too long. We can all go down a dark path for a little while as a reaction to events, but you can't let it destroy you. And so I'm going to respond in the end to things I think this guy needs to really get his life back on track, because you're going to see he does a complete 180 in terms of right now, great shape, great health, all that, but afterwards, oh God, it's a mess. So it starts off, she says, hi, I made a Reddit account to hopefully find some way to fix things between my husband and I. Good luck, honey. I would like to first of all say, please don't send me hate. Then don't post on Reddit, sweetheart. I can assure you with 100% certainty, anything you send me right now, I've already told myself. I'm just looking for advice on how I can fix things and we can be a loving couple again. In your dreams, honey. It ain't happening. But I'll read your story anyway. 3 months ago, I went on a business trip, a 3-day trip. On the first night, I went out for drinks with some of my coworkers. While out, a man started flirting with me, and I liked the attention. Alcohol, her work friends, and a guy giving her attention. What could possibly go wrong? My husband has always been loving and supportive. He's handsome, in incredible shape, and he constantly compliments me. Well, there's a problem for many reasons, which for you guys who watch my other channel know why. I don't know why I felt so gratified by this random guy, but I did. After way too many drinks, I went out with him to his apartment, and we had you-know-what. Immediately afterwards, I realized what I had done, and I left. I cut my part of the work trip short, saying I felt ill, and went home. I immediately confessed to my husband. I told him everything, offered to answer all of his questions. So, just like that. This guy's great with her, all that, constantly compliments her, which a guy should never do. And I'm willing to bet you, I was talking about with attention and validation to women, it's like water and sunlight. They can't function without it, just like a plant. Women are like plants in the sense that attention and validation to women is like a plant with sunshine and water. They can't function without it, right? Her husband's giving her compliments all the time, but in a way it means nothing to her because she's like, well, he probably has to or something like that. But getting from somebody else, well, that's a big deal. And of course, let's blame the alcohol here. Was she wearing a wedding ring that night out? Were her coworkers aware of what was going on? That's a question. So she goes home and tells him. I offered to answer all his questions. He just said he needed to go for a walk, and when he came back, he just asked me if I liked it. I was honest with him. I didn't. It was fumbly. That's what she word, fumbly. Drunk sex with a man that clearly didn't care if I enjoyed it. This guy is nowhere near as good as my husband, and I told him all this. Well, number one, let's just say for argument's sake this guy wasn't very good in the sack. Well, guess what? Chad and Tyrone don't care about making the girl feel pleasure. They're taking care of themselves. And the age-old, meant nothing. He meant nothing to me. Well, to a guy that loves his wife, A, she cheated, but B, she threw it all away over some piece of crap that meant nothing to her. Right? He's like, is that what I was worth to you? He just stood there looking at me and told me he needed to go out for a bit to think and left again. He was gone for a couple of hours and finally stumbled back through the front door, really drunk. He could barely speak, kind of drunk. This has now become more and more common theme since it happened. He's gone from drinking maybe 3 times a month at the most to drinking every single night. Well, clearly your husband is in a lot of pain, lady. And not just drinking, but getting blackout drunk and passing out either in our backyard or on our couch. He started smoking cigarettes again. He quit 2 years ago. He's been blowing off our friends when they invite him out to events. He just goes to work, comes home, drinks, smokes, and passes out. He hasn't gone to the gym since I told him. He used to go 5 times a week. He barely eats anything. Whenever I try to talk to him, he just responds with short answers or mumbles. We had our first marriage counseling session today, and he barely spoke. The counselor tried to get something out of him, but he just did the same, short answers or mumbles. Well, your husband has clearly been broken by this. He's going through unbelievable depression. He's drinking all the time, so when he's done work, he doesn't have to think about or deal with you. And he's depressed because he doesn't want to be around his friends. He doesn't want to be around, do the things he enjoys, like hitting the gym. And the alcohol and cigarettes are very quick fixes to make him escape and feel better. Okay, and marriage counseling, he's got to work on himself first before there's any marriage counseling, if there's any potential hope for reconciliation. But in my opinion, no freaking way. She needs to get the hell out. She needs to leave him alone. After all this, he doesn't need to see the person every waking second that caused him all this pain. This is the woman that he, in his mind, thought obviously that he truly loved, thought he could trust, and look what happened. Threw it away over some just lousy lay on a work trip. This is going to make him question everything. If she's done this before, who's she talking to when she's on the phone? Has this happened on other business trips? You get the point? But she's focused more on, I feel so bad about this. This guy needs help. If he needs individual therapy, he needs one of his bros to help pull him out of this dark hole. You, the one causing him all this pain, ain't going to do it. He needs someone that he can trust. And that ain't you, honey. He needs a brother, a actual brother, sibling that's down to earth and gets it, or a buddy that can help him pull him out of this and help him pull himself out. Anyway, she says, I've offered everything I can think of to make things right. I've been doing things that he's always done for me. Make coffee for him each morning, tell him he's handsome, offer to do errands for him. He doesn't seem to care anymore. Because you're the cause of all his pain, that's why. He just seems like a shell of his former self. I'm really scared I've done something irreparable. I haven't seen him smile this entire time. 2 nights ago he came back from whatever pub he'd been drinking at with a bloody nose and a black eye. I was horrified and tried to find out what happened. He just told me to go F off. Can you blame him? He started telling me I might as well go find that guy I cheated with so I can be happy. I tried telling him I've always been happy with him, but he threw it back in my face asking why I cheated then. Exactly. It ain't perfect. There's obviously issues, whatever her things are. There's no excuse. Now, I will say this. I will give the slightest bit of credit. At the very least, according to her, if this is accurate, she did come home immediately and tell him right away. Like, it wasn't these stories where she did her dirty deed and tried to cover it up and he found out like 5 years later. No, she went home and told him, if this is indeed accurate, okay, fine. I'll give her that. But still, this guy needs space. Not seeing you all the time. She needs to freaking move the hell out. Separation, go live with a sister or her mom or whatever, stay at a friend's house, I don't know what, let him go. And then she needs to freaking tell one of his, if he hasn't told anybody yet, she needs to tell someone that he can trust what happened and the reason why he's gone down the dark hole to help him. Okay, because she ain't going to help him. He doesn't want to see you. But personally, in my opinion, this guy, cut it off. End of story. Once a cheater, always a cheater. He's never going to forget this. It's never going to go. Okay? He's going to be questioning everything before and after. Anyway, I don't know what it is. I'm in the kind of mood to talk. I'm in the kind of mood that I hate hearing these stories when these gals do these awful things to these guys and see what happens to these guys, but that's why I'm very wordy today about this. This could have been done on either of my channels, but I decided to use it for this one. I tried telling him I've always been happy with him, but he threw it back in my face asking why I cheated. I don't have an answer. I spent these months racking my brain, but I can't think of a single reason why I did it. That makes it worse. He wasn't better looking, nicer, in better shape, more attentive, anything. That conversation when he came back with the bloody nose and black eye is the longest one I've had since I told him what I did. I don't know what to do. Have I ruined my marriage? Yes. I'm asking the men here, is there something your cheating partner did that made you feel better? I'm lost. I love my husband more than anything in the world, and watching him spiral is killing me. Please, I need advice. And she also says, if I've done anything in the post the wrong way, can someone let me know? I really need advice, and I've never really used Reddit before. My sister recommended that I make a post. Okay, well, she's asking for advice, and for men even. So, okay, here you go. You fucked up, honey. You had a great guy, treated you well, complimented you, all that. You're married. You're married, obviously, for a while, and he's still complimenting you and all that, and you just broke him, okay? And because you don't know, I don't know, just to get some compliments from some stranger, you got shit you got to work on yourself, honey. You need to give this dude space. You need to move the hell out and let him not have to see you all the time, the cause of all his pain and anguish. And if you haven't done so already, if nobody else knows about this, then you need to tell his family, tell his bros, and they can help pull him out of this deep, dark hole he's gotten into to help get him back on track, because you ain't going to do it. And no amount of you complimenting him and making him coffee in the morning, big deal, it takes, 10 minutes at best to brew it and pour it, is going to fix this. He can't trust you anymore, okay? And again, lady, think about how you'd feel if the situation was reversed. Do you think you could just let it go because he was making you coffee in the morning and he was complimenting the shape of your ass? No, not going to work that way. He needs space. He needs time to heal. He doesn't need marriage counseling. He needs individual help, either from his bros or an individual therapy if it's gotten so bad, to help him out of this dark hole. But at the end of the day, he needs a trusted loved one to help him out of the dark hole. Then at the end of the day, only he can pull him out of the dark hole. And this goes to show you guys the impact this can have on good guys. But also, I got to make the point that as a guy, you can't let other people's actions destroy you. We can have short-term hang-ups and be impacted by such a horrible breach of trust, amongst many other things, but you can't let it destroy you. And right now, he's in the destruction mode. Maybe these are the motions he has to go through to cope, but it's time this guy gets back on his horse. Cut the smoke and cut the booze. I know it's giving him temporary relief, and so he doesn't have to be around her and deal with her and see her, but still. Get back to going to the gym, even if he's walking on the freaking treadmill. Start lifting even the pink dumbbells if he has to. Get back on track, get in shape, doing the things he likes, spend time with his bros, and day by day, he'll start to heal. But as for me, I see this marriage as over. And if it is over, I don't know if this lady's going to see this, then you need to give him a very easy, smooth divorce. That's the best thing you can do for him. Is claim you truly love this guy, and you're sorry for what you've done, then you give him space. And you try to get him the right kind of help. Marriage counseling with the two of you there ain't the right kind of help. Okay? You give him space. You move out. Show him through your actions you'll do anything, including letting him go to make things right. And if that means he wants a divorce, then you give him the smoothest, most easy divorce possible. That's what you can do to make up for that. And then later on in life, don't make the same mistake twice. I really wish the best for this guy, and it's a shame what happened. Now I'm going to read a few comments before I wrap this up. One guy says, he's going to need space for now. That's what I said. Being around you is probably the hardest part for him. He's in the backyard and going to the bars so he doesn't have to see you. Getting drunk to process what happened, but also to try not to blow up on you every 5 minutes. He doesn't care about the gym anymore at the time, and all the time and effort to put into the looking good for you just had to have you screw some slob from the bar. He is also picking apart every part of your relationship to figure out where he went wrong. He's not only mad at you, but even more mad at himself for trusting you and not seeing any signs that you could be this type of person. He also now wondering about every time you went on those trips. What I say from the beginning, he's going to be looking back at every single trip, every single phone call, every time she's on her phone texting, wondering, and including girls' nights and girls' weekends, if this happened before. And let's just say it didn't. Doesn't matter. And he's always going to imagine, even if you got back together, he's going to imagine you and some dude who you claim was terrible in bed hooking up. He's also now wondering about every time you went on the trips. You came clean this time, but honestly, you're not ever going to convince him that this was the first time this happened. I'm not even convinced of that. Well, neither am I. How did your boss know about this? How did your boss not know about this? Now, one person in the group you're with tried to stop you from leaving with that guy. I have to wonder if the coworkers were all female coworkers, and, well, you know that works. He has at least one friend that knows what happened. The friend told him to leave you, and he is just not sure what to do yet. My advice for now is to stay away for a while. Seeing you every day is just replaying that movie in his head. He's going to have to decide if he wants to start the relationship over again because the one he had is over. Exactly. I couldn't say better myself. Now the guy says, being cheated on breaks you. Is there anything you can do? First off, I think you did it for the thrill. It's incredibly stupid and short-sighted, and there was no reason behind it other than it was an idiotic response to brutish advance. Notice she puts, again, remember in the beginning, it was on the alcohol, and he was the one flirting with her, and all that. How many of these stories is always blamed on A, the alcohol, and B, well, the guy was flirting with me? Guess what? Alcohol just amplifies what people think and feel, but ordinarily wouldn't do under the influence. There's probably not some deep internal revelation that's going to come. You were stupid and selfish to take the opportunity in front of you. I'm not saying this is to beat you down, just wanted to let you know there isn't a magic formula for what makes a cheater. Our hearts are incredibly selfish by nature, therefore we do stupid things. My suggestion is to not leave him on the island. Talking to you isn't going to help much because you're the one who drove the knife into his heart. Exactly. Tell a friend, tell a pastor, tell his mom, tell his dad. Someone who can be trusted to give him sound advice. And not just advice that you think will be favorable to you. Yes, exactly. You don't want him seeking counsel from somebody that thinks you should never divorce under any circumstances or he should just automatically forgive her and let it go. That's the wrong person. Going out and drinking with randos is harmful to him, but staying home being trapped with you is torturous. Have you offered to sleep on the couch? Have you offered to take a second bedroom or stay with a friend? Basically, he doesn't want to be around you. Give him some space to breathe with the reassurance that you'll be there when he's ready. That was both very good ideas there. So yeah, give this guy some space. I wish this guy all the best. And I don't need to say everything I said because I already said it many times here. But guys, there's an example of what the destruction that could happen to a guy. And it could happen to a girl if the one they love so much, have been so good to and loyal and loving, does that to them. So those who are watching this out there, you relationship people, always watch out for the red flags. Keep your eyes open. Don't bombard your girl with compliments. I've talked about it many times on the other channel and the negative impact of that. And for the women that watch this is what could happen to your guy. And if he leaves you, it's your own damn fault. And guys, this could happen if you actually have a good girl and you fuck that up. This could happen to you. And this also shows a guy can fall down a deep dark hole, but sometimes he needs someone to help pull him out of the hole. But then also he has to help pull himself out of the hole. We can't let anybody actions put us down such a dark hole and we never come back out. I mean, this guy, like she said, gym 5 days a week, looked good, very active, and he's just drinking and smoking, getting into bar fights now. I mean, he's just self-destructive, and he's obviously so depressed he doesn't want to go to the gym, hang out with his buddies. He needs individual help, and he can get out of it, but we have to make the choice to make it happen and not let things destroy us. Temporarily, sure, but in the long term, no. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Guys, if you ran in a situation where you're in a dark hole like this guy, comment in the comment section what you did to get out. Did it take a loved one or good friend to help pull you out of it? Did you do it all by yourself? How do you do it? Day by day? Because that's all anybody can do is take it day by day, minute by minute. And eventually you will. Because there is one guy watching this, I'm sure, that has been cheated on before. Okay, it's happened to me a couple of times in my life, and I know the feeling. It's awful, but you eventually do move on, but it does its damage. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.